Are you ready for 9 at 9? We may go a little longer. We got a lot to talk about. What is going on and why am I so excited? Happy Friday, Tom Grisafi, ATI Pro Media. We had a jobs number and the American economy's hot. It absolutely shocked the markets. Interest rates moved, gold moved, silver moved, crude oil moved, grains moved. Now it's all reversing. What's going on? You think the USDA plays tricks with farmers? Wait until you find out how the government tells you how many people are working or not working. The truth is, American economy is healthy, and we're seeing that reflected in the markets. If you want a job, you got one. And I got just a guy to talk about it. Connor B, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tommy.
I'm revved up. Let's go.
I love it. Let's go. What do we got? U.S. economy added 216,000 jobs in December, Tommy. Way more than expected. Their number was 170,000 and way more than the November revised number of 173,000.
We have a slide we're going to show. There's a
Yeah.
little shell game that goes on here. Mr. Nathan
Yeah.
Mangold, one of our finest commercial brokers at the firm, he sent us
My
this.
my first thought when I see that 216,000, I think of Lee Corso going not so fast, because what happened was big number, right? Good to see. They've revised, what is that? 10 out of the last 11 jobs reports.
Those are the
They've
red numbers
revised
underneath
those.
the red
Those are
bars.
the red bars. Yeah,
Mhm.
they've revised that lower. 10 out of the last 11. November they went from 199,000 to 173,000. October 150 down to 105. So big number. Happy to see it. Right, good to see a big number. If we're betting, odds are they're going to revise it lower based on what history says and based on what we're seeing on that chart.
What's so important about this, Connor, is if you think what the USDA can do to the grain market, being corn, wheat, beans, cotton, all the various markets, that's nothing compared to the value of one stock. Like Apple and some of these companies are approaching $3 trillion worth of value. And so when you look at the world stock market and you look at the world bond market, when a number like this comes out in the computers, the high frequency trading computers get that initial number, we get that sell off. And if we have time later, I can show you charts of every market. We have a new neat feature here on the show, but for the sake of time, let's get into the meat of the show. We're grain guys, we're cattle guys, and grains are a little lower and wheat's a little higher, and that's nice to see. But soybeans and corn struggling. I do have live quotes now on my screen all the time.
We're
Ask me
rocking and
anything, I'm
rolling.
here to tell you, brother.
Rocking and rolling. First thing I got, Tommy, looking at back at 2023, global food price index down. What is that? 10% roughly off of 2022. We're getting back into the 12 to 14 levels in food prices. So for everyone screaming that food inflation, everything was just going to skyrocket, we're down 10%. We're getting to lower levels. So interesting to see.
Yeah, a little color here. Now, when you go to the store, you say, I watch Tommy, I watch Connor, I watch the ATI Pro Media crew. They said prices are dropping. Not so fast, because the gal or the guy who helps you, who loaded that box of cereal, the person who delivered that box of cereal, the person who's going to help you check out that box of cereal, and the guy on the camera system in the back of the store making sure you don't steal the box of cereal is keeping the markets higher. The overall price of things is high because it's so expensive to do business. Labor's a problem. Tie in this chart what we're talking about with the labor markets. It's all tied together. So yes, the price of food across the world's coming down. You're not necessarily going to see it reflected in the grocery store. But if you want to know why the stock market's rallying, you want to know why people say inflation's coming down, when you look at crude oil, you look at food, you look at some things, they're coming down. Other things, not so much. That labor cost is the conundrum for the Federal Reserve, Connor B, and you good folks watching, that they may have a problem, because they said, the markets said, we're going to lower rates, but the job market's still hot. So to be
Right.
continued. See you
And
on the first Friday, next Friday, and we'll talk jobs again.
absolutely. Other thing that's not coming down, shipping rates.
Oh,
Shipping rates have exploded. Walk us through it, Tommy.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
that is just beautiful. Look at this. I mean, if you were driving, which way would you rather go? You take the red line, but you got to take the green line, and you're adding 7, 10 days in all shipping. This isn't just one company. I think, did you tell me over 15, 16 shipping companies now have said, go around, go around.
And we thought it was gonna cool with US kind of intervening. It's not looking like it, Tommy. Most companies are just saying, "No, we're taking the long way. We're not risking it." And
Oh
so
my, we have a question. Longtime listener, first time caller, Farmer Brett. Nitrogen 3200 is 319 a
uh,
ton in western Kansas, down from 585. Now, I'm not a real farmer, nor do I even play one on TV. The most amount of nitrogen I have ever bought is 2 bags of fertilizer, one for my front yard, one for my backyard. Connor B, I hand this one back to you. You play
that
farmer sometimes.
we gotta gloss over this because if we talk farmer balance sheets, we'll go the whole route, right? But the truth of the matter is inputs, especially fertilizer, maybe specifically fertilizer, right? Chemical costs, seed costs haven't really came down, but your fertilizer bill is much lower than last year. And we need to keep that in mind when we're looking at these lower prices right now, Tommy. So good, we'll take it, I guess, is what I'll say about the fertilizer prices being
Yeah.
lower,
Can I
but
add
keep
to
in
that
mind.
fertilizer price lower?
Yeah.
If some parts of your cost of production are going down, you have to understand that as we get in this D's 24 corn chart, which we have coming up, that this $5 level
Let's pull it up.
is if we watch this show a year from now, are we going to be saying we should have sold it all at 5, or are we going to say no? Remember those guys on January 4th or 5th, they put that chart, that was a buying opportunity. So we have D's 24 corn. We have that red arrow. We have now officially in the first week of December or January broken support. I don't
And
know
we
what's going to happen when we look back from a year. What would you tell a client who wants to get forward sold or forward protected? What would you do?
put a pencil to it, Tommy, and just adding some color on that break and support. We broke it Tuesday. I think you said Tuesday. We're going to see what this week brings. We could
Hmm.
not break back through $5. We'll see where we close today, Friday. Right now, we're hanging out at 497. We've stayed below it. I really wanted to see us close above that 5 and hold it, but we are
Yeah,
holding it right in that
when we
497.
started the week Tuesday, I said, don't get scared. Watch how the markets close. On a positive note, wheat still doing well. And It it's doing noticeably well here on the charts. Border trade wheat up 5, KC wheat up 8, hard red spring up 7. Looking at the quote board, cattle up. There's some good things happening. Let's talk crude oil real quick.
Yep.
After this chart, I think we have a crude. When we talk about shipping, and 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 all these boats going all around, and you talk about inflation and the conundrum the Fed might be, I'm a little shocked that crude oil is just maintaining this level. Now, currently, crude oil is up $2. So add some more to the top right of that white. At the time of printing in this chart, it was up $1. What? Why is crude oil not rallying, Connor? And I don't know. You know the answer. It's like a trick question. Why is crude oil not exploding with all the trouble in the world?
That's a good question. I think we're holding it down a little bit. Oh, we got a question here too from Luke.
Good way to
But
get out of answering that one. I love it. Are
I
beans
was reading that
discounting the
question.
great, great? You could be, you are going to be a real TV star. Are beans discounting the 200? You could run for president dodging a question like that.
Yeah.
Are beans discounting the 200 million carry out a bit too much in the face of Brazil rains? Luke, how long are you? I mean, that is a comment that someone goes to a show and says, uh, "Oh, what about this? What about this? What about that? What about this?" I'm going to tell you something I thought about in the beans, and this isn't going to come off nice. But everyone's so excited about all these crushing plants and that their cash markets have improved 20, 30, 40 cents because these new crushing plants. I'm going to ask you a question. Did you just lose $2 in beans because you were trying to pick up 20 cents in basis? Is that what's happening here? Because I think we're halfway to doing that. I think we have farmers storing beans unprotected, not sold futures, not hedged, going, I have a crushing plant that opened 50 miles from me. Congratulations. But if you store that bean for 6 months and watch the futures drop $1.50, you go from hero to zero real quick. What do you think about that little spin, Connor B?
Absolutely. Here's a fun fact I always like to pull up. Past 15 years, soybean volatility, high to the low on average. What do you think it is, Tommy? I know you know, but it's
Well, bean volatility historically has been very low. So I'm going to go with like a 12 or 14.
12 or 14. I was going to talk about the total dollar moves. It's
Oh,
over
I'm sorry.
$4.
I thought
Yeah.
you meant you mean volatility in dollar move. I thought you meant the volatility on options. Beans can move. Well, ask me the question again.
Past 15 years,
Hmm.
average price volatility, high to the low for the calendar year. What is it on average?
I'm going to go with $4, sir.
dead on. It's like it's in the 420s.
Really?
Right?
What do I
Yeah.
win? I did not know that, but I mean, I trade markets every day, so it kind of makes sense. I know we can move.
Right.
So what's that mean to the people watching? We can move. We can go lower. We can go higher. We can go lower real quick and go higher and rock it out of there. We have a couple other charts, but before we get to that chart, Dave Lechtenberg from Ames, Iowa, he did this message that was so good, and Brady Huck grabbed this. And this is a message from Dave Lechtenberg from Ames. If you'd like to see this premium content, email us, call us. We filmed this video a few days ago. Here's a little tidbit.
All of these is don't let the market, don't get to the feeling that the market can't do something, because once we start feeling like that, it just says, hold my beer and watch this. And so that's what we have to be worried about.
Hold my beer and watch this, Dave Lechtenberg. I'm sure there'll be a TikTok of that. Speaking of social media, we're out there. Facebook, we need a few friends. Twitter, X, we could use a couple clicks and likes. We're out there on TikTok, compliance approved. We're out there. YouTube, Spotify, Apple,
Absolutely.
We're out there. Get a hold of us. It's meeting season, Connor B. I'll be traveling to Iowa next week. And from what I understand, my travels home might be a little snowy. What do you got on that?
Oh boy, I've got a drought buster for you, Tommy. We've been pulling up the drought monitor. We're saying it's dry in Iowa and Nebraska. Here's what we got. We got the Euro model 15-day looking at into next week and the predicted snow accumulation. And there are some big numbers on there. Iowa, where you're going to be 20 inches of snow. Nebraska, the biggest number, 34 inches of snow. Where I'm at in Illinois, we're in the 3 to 4 range, right? So we've got some potential. Right. I harp on not following the GFS model when it talks rain. So I better throw that in when we're looking at snow, but chances for some big snowfall going into the end of next week, into the week after that.
That's going to be interesting. I'll take the under. If this was a sports show, I'll take the under on that snow. But that's only me not wanting to have to drive through it. Connor B, we have some new features that we're going to introduce next week. I am super, super excited. I'm going to try to do this right now, but we're going to start going live, and people are going to be able to ask us a question and ask us about a chart. And so we're going to practice right now. Connor B, happy Friday. Ask me a question. Tell me to pull something up, and I'm going to do it, little buddy.
Tommy, I want to see with where beans are and what they've done this week. Let's look at March soybeans.
March soybeans, Connor B, right there. I have a 10-minute chart. You can see that there.
Let's go big. Let's go bigger.
Oh, you want big beans? Oh, baby, we're practicing. Here you go. 10-minute chart of beans. Let's look at a daily of that.
Yeah, daily.
That is what beans have done. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So where we got on the line, we've got the new year, and we said it Tuesday, and we'll say it again. Has not been a good 2024 so far on the soybean price. And you look at we spoke about the volatility, that $4 move, and we saw that in March beans from July on. We saw the highs, $14, that mythical $14 on the high.
Go back and look at a weekly. You talk about those $4 coming in and out. Here it is, all the way back down here. From the 8s, 9s, and 10s, this all way back in 20, all the way up to 17. You said the average yearly range $4. Somehow we got to help people harness that volatility.
Right. Yeah. We need
another one. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood.
Let's do it. What do you want to talk? You want to look?
Let's talk about how the stocks bounced. Let's talk about how.
Let's look at the Dow.
You want Dow futures coming up, Connor B. Dow futures typically, as we talk about, they go from the bottom left to the top right. They have their good days and their bad days. Here's all the way down to the pandemic lows. Okay, wow. Dow Jones was down to 19,000, currently heading towards the highs. Let's talk about what happened during this unemployment number. Let me leave you with something actionable. Just like USDA reports, government releases unemployment reports. There's their initial reaction, and there's the reaction
This
after.
is 10 minute.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Look at that down move, Connor, and then we rocketed it up. We're coming off a little bit now. We're going to have fun with these live charts and quotes, and we're going to do free for all Fridays where we have people ask questions and we dive into charts. Am I a technician? Not exactly. They say every ship at the bottom of the ocean had a chart room. So, but we'll give it our best shot. Connor B, I want to close the show with this really pretty gal here who works at our company. See you, buddy.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.